Alright, I'm going to be toggling between two screens so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and then I'll just stay in the slideshow in just a second. Let's see what that means. Here we are on the React section. You will have clicked on the link that I will put in here after I'm done recording this, and then I will kind of walk you through this step by step. So we're on this React section, and I'm going to show you some images. I've also included them here on the side. If I'm going too fast, you can sort of refer back to them. And for each image that you see on the screen and here in the document, I want you to react in a sentence or a few words about what you're seeing, how you're feeling about it, just kind of anything that springs to mind. I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at each image, but again, if you want to see it, it's here on the side as well. So you'll see like number 1 matches number 1, number 2, 2, so on and so forth. All right, so I'm going to start with the slideshow. Looks like this. So react. You're writing, I said 1 to 2 sentences or a few words. If you want to stretch yourself and kind of get a little bit more in depth, go ahead and write that 2 sentences. It doesn't need to be more. I'm hoping for more than a few words on some of them because they are pretty powerful. So number 1, we're looking at this image here. This is what does an American look like? So this is coming from the National Geographic, and it's the changing face of America. What they project the majority of Americans will look like by the year 2050. So in 30 years, they project that this will be the dominant face of America. Go ahead and react to that in the section, in the line 1. So you would be typing it right here. This face of America makes me think whatever it is that you think. So you're just typing in your response there in the line. So here's that image again. We're going to move on to the second one. If you need more time, you can pause this recording and take a look at it. So the second one is this map of the world. This is the worldwide COVID-19 cases as of April 2020. Of course, we have more updated information, but this was the one that was sort of, as we were finishing up school, what it looked like. So you're reacting to this in a sentence or a few words. You're focusing your attention thinking, how does this help me understand why I need to study world history? How can a modern case, a modern epidemic, be important to us studying world history? So again, you're responding to that here in line 2. What is it making you think, feel, question about world history? All right, so number 3. This is an image of a man hauling a child out of rubble in Yemen. This was taken within the last year. What does this make you think, feel? Why do we study world history? Number 4. This is an image from Brazil, the 1918 flu pandemic. Most cities had hospitals set up like this. Often when we think about history, we think about old things. This is over 100 years old. But how can studying something like this help us better understand today? Of course, I chose this intentionally. So you're responding to this in line 4 of your classwork. We're going to move on to number 5. Here's image number 5. We see a political cartoon here. We will study lots of political cartoons. It's a very interesting point of view and biased in political cartoons. And so we see several flags here. We definitely see 2 dominant flags, the United States here in the back, In China, we see these toppling. These are like Greek, traditionally Greek pillars. So we know that Greece is the foundation of democracy. How is sort of the crumbling pillars of democracy and this kind of bouncing around ball of the world, how does that make us need to understand why we study world history? You're responding to that here in line 5. We're going to move on to number 6. This is an image of a woman's feet in China. In our first unit, we're going to be, first unit, we'll be studying the Chinese dynasties, and in one of the Chinese dynasties, not so far off, women's feet binding was really popular. It was an aesthetic for beauty, and women would have their feet bound into very tiny, very painful shapes for beauty and honor and social status. So how does this ideal of femininity, why do we need to study world history to understand it? You're responding to that. Line 7. Line 6, right? 6. All right, number 7. A Castillo pyramid at Chichen Itza in Mexico. Again, in Unit 1, we'll be looking at Mesoamerica and the 3 major empires of kind of the non-North American civilizations. So we're going to look at the Aztec, the Inca, and the Maya. So how can looking at other civilizations in different parts of the world help us better understand world history? What do you think here about the Castle Pyramid at Chichen Itza? You're responding to that. Line 7. Here's number 8. So we see here a pretty iconic, we think jump right to, oh, this must be an American history image. Why would we be thinking about this for world history class? But this is actually MLK at the Berlin Wall in Berlin, Germany. It was a physical barrier that divided East and West Germany from the side that kind of went communist with the USSR and the Eastern Bloc after the Cold War and World War II. And then we've got the opposite side, the Western Berlin, that kind of modernized with Europe and the United States. So why would we think about an image of MLK standing at the Berlin Wall be significant to world history? We'll respond to that in number 8. We're going to move on to number 9. This is another modern image. This is Greta Thunberg. She's the teenager that has been speaking on climate change. This was when she was speaking at the UN. Her very emotional and moving speech at the UN about climate change and how people of that generation definitely are not appreciating the voices of children and not moving fast enough for really changing the world. And then last but not least, number 10, this is Lord Mswati III of Swaziland. He is a king in Africa today. This image was taken in 2017. So what does this tell us about world history today? Once you've done that, we're going to move on to the next section. You can follow my next video for that.